evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, from the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. And again, I have a couple of buddies of mine and co-hosts. They got Nikki D down on the bottom with that bucked up shirt. And we got Reek and up top with that NBA style shirt. We're going to go talk about SmackDown and everything else we want to talk about. So, how you guys doing tonight, guys?
Oh, just doing fantastic, man.
Doing very good. Very good. How about you, Huge Pop?
Doing all right, man. Doing okay. Just chilling out, getting ready to talk some wrestling with you guys. I'm excited about that. I get excited for Mondays and Tuesdays and whenever I can get away. So,
you know, I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit of talking wrestling and mostly bashing. Like,
I don't know. I mean, it all depends. I'm not in the bashing mood. Are you in the bashing mood, Nikki?
No, not at all. I don't know where he gets this where he gets this feeling from.
Because you guys got your hater.
I'm looking down the lineup. I'm looking down the lineup of SmackDown, and we have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Pretty Deadly.
Mm-hmm.
We have New Catch Republic against Legado del Fantasma. Dakota Kai and Bianca Belair. Street Profits and A-Town Down Under. And we have, what's this? Somebody Appears. Freaking Jade Cargill. Wow, we'll talk about her last, I think.
Yeah.
Save the best for last?
That's a fan favorite, I suppose.
So
let's start from the beginning.
Let's start from the
KO
beginning.
and Randy Orton.
KO and Randy Orton. Okay.
You know, Huge Pop, me and you talked about this. Lena even said it again. They should just go with the Let It Go Frozen song, and because they dress up as her sometimes. So
are you talking about the street
pretty deadly? Yeah.
I wrote in my notes. I said this. Men in halter tops, not cool. Come on.
Yes, boy.
They remind me, and I can't think of who it was, but they remind me of somebody else there that had a similar gimmick, and I cannot remember who it was.
The model, Rick Martel.
No. That's like 80s or early 90s. I'm talking like, because when he was in a tag team, who the heck? When he was with Tito Santana, he was Strikeforce, but when he was the model, he was solo. Like he was a singles competitor. It was somebody else that had that same type of gimmick, you know, kind of. Oh gosh, I cannot think of who it was.
Adrian Adonis.
No. This is just a few years ago. I feel like the one. Oh, geez, Pete's the one kid who was like a younger.
Tyler Breeze.
Okay, Tyler Breeze, and who was his partner?
Fandango.
Yeah, that would have been them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they kind of had that.
Yeah, wasn't he the one that came off the selfie stick?
Yes.
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 And then there was what's his face? Kind of whoever his partner was, he kind of did that too. He was a trainer for a while. He was like. He did a lot of Shawn Michaels stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about. I don't know why I can't think of his name. He worked at he helped train some of the talent that would come up in NXT. Oh my gosh, was he blonde? Good grief. He was on the main roster a few times too. Just he kind of ran with something like that with whoever his partner was. And then he was solo for a while or like a singles competitor. And then he just went back to training people. Oh my gosh. It'll come to me.
All right.
It'll come to me.
So this match was put together because, let's be honest, KO knocked the piss out of one of them a couple nights before that. And just for being them. I don't know. You guys can go ahead. And there was a couple parts of that match I did like, especially when it came to Logan Paul. That was fun.
No, besides everybody knocking on Pretty Deadly, they put on a good match. You know, they did pretty good, especially with KO. And I like KO's aggressiveness. How he just goes out there and he's just and takes him out. Mm-hmm. And you know, Randy. You see Randy's kind of in a more of a mellow stage, older in his career now. He's just more like, he's having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
I don't know if you noticed, Prince, I guess his name's Prince off of Pretty Deadly. He did Randy Orton's signature move onto the announce table. It was pretty solid. I mean, he did do. I mean, so I'm not taking. All I'm saying is, men in halter tops, get rid of the halter tops, especially fishnet halter tops. Let's go, guys. Come on.
It's the fishnets that get you right there.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Certain people that we might talk about later on could wear fishnets, but these guys can't. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but they're not bad wrestlers, honestly. They Pretty Deadly was amazing in NXT. I mean, obviously they did well, or Trip wouldn't have brought him up,
Yep.
So I can't take much away from them, except for I can't watch them.
They might fall into something else, a gimmick that'll work, something else, something different, but they can work. That's the important thing. They can work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're given something and you've got to make it work. And as long as it's not a garbage gimmick, which what they do right now is like, I wouldn't say it's garbage gimmick, but it's something that's it's created to get under your skin, to like annoy you, but then there's a little comedy relief, but then they annoy you too. And they make it work.
You remember back, Nikki and Reiko, that in NXT, you talk about annoying gimmicks. That is annoying. But then when they were in the, I think they call it the Varsity Club, the ones that wear the red sweatshirts.
Chase U University.
Yeah, Chase U University.
Yeah.
That's another one of those gimmicks that gets under your skin. You're like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So when they were both in NXT together and they had a feud with each other, I'm like, why? Guys, come on. But they can wrestle too, so it's just that's
and they may Hunter's done it before where he sees that talent, he's like, that gimmick's not really working. Let's try something else. Because I haven't finished watching, but I was just watching the Bray Wyatt tribute. Husky Harris, Triple H noticed it's not working, but this guy's got talent. Let's try something different.
I gotta sit down and watch that.
Oh, it's awesome.
I want to watch it too.
I'm only halfway through it, but it's awesome.
Isn't that crazy? He was Husky Harris, dude. He was one of those guys, that was part of that invasion or whatever. Well, I'm pretty sure he was one of the ones that came with Wade Barrett and
Wade
good. There was some good talent that came with that too. And then because was it David Otunga? Yep. They had all those guys that were really, really good that just came in. He was part of that, but he didn't stand out. You know what I mean? He wasn't he was just one of the guys, bigger guy. Then you look what he did. He left for a while and he came back repackaged and he just lit the world on fire. So and he could work back then too, but yeah.
Yeah, no, Husky Harris, that Nexus, that was a good angle that ran for a while. We could talk all day about angles that worked, and
that's when they say Cena buried. That's when that there are people who say he buried that because of how it worked and their push and stuff like that, and he buried that whole thing. And I was like, no, he wouldn't do that. Cena gave people chances, but if you look back at it, they had that whole thing, and when they had that big match, and he just squashed, I shouldn't say squashed him, but he beat him. Right. And then that was it. They just kind of faded away. And they were all so talented too. They were all so good. He had a match with David Otunga. I love David Otunga. And David Otunga got 0 offensive moves. I remember Cena just plastered. I'm like, well, Cena's the guy. Mm-hmm. He's the guy in the company. But Otunga looked like nothing. He could do nothing.
Right.
So that's part of it where people say that stuff. I'm like, oh, was it true? Because there was some good talent there, and they could have come in and they could have done some stuff right away.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of weird to see Logan Paul do that. That angle was. I mean, I get it. You're trying to boost it up for Mania, but that angle. I mean, having him hide underneath the ring and having the brass knucks, and then he ended up getting laid out by KO. So that was fun. And then they chased him out of there. That was fun. But I was like, it was kind of weird. I wish they would have done something different, maybe, but it was what it was.
I liked it though. I felt like it added on getting ready for their match.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
And they just
added more
they're
heat to
going with the
Logan.
same thing.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll get something different in the match.
Yes.
But
I
this
hope
one,
so.
they're just, hey, this works. Let's just keep with this whole thing. And you kind of get that feeling. So it's like, oh, he's always going to find a way to get the brass knuckles, or someone's going to slip him them, or whatever. And then, so it's kind of like part of it's like a prop that's part of the gimmick. You know what I mean? That's part of like what's going on.
Mhm.
But it's helping to build that up. So, but I think in the match, I don't know. Actually, maybe they will make an appearance, but it'll be cool. You know, it'll be something.
Yeah.
I look forward to that one. That dude is super good, way better than I thought. My daughters were like, "I hate that guy," because they see him on YouTube and stuff, and I'm like, hey, he's pretty good.
Not
Well,
bad.
that was before I watched him wrestle. I was like, man, what is he doing on here? And then you watch him wrestle. I'm like, okay.
He got my respect when he went up against Ricochet. I was
Mhm.
like, okay. I was okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You go. You can go.
Yep.
You know, so
Absolutely.
but no, I would say the Logan, I mean the KO and Orton and the Pretty Deadly, that it was like about a B, B match.
That's
it
why I
wasn't
give
bad.
it a B.
It wasn't bad.
No,
So,
He's good.
yeah. So then we had the Street Profits and the A-Town Down Under. Go ahead, guys.
My thing with the whole A-Town Down Under is Grayson Waller's great on the mic. He's a good wrestler too. But I feel like Austin Theory is just he's better by himself. Me personally, this is what I believe. He's better by himself. He's a great wrestler, and he can bring that heat on himself. Like I said, Grayson can talk really good on the mic. But Austin just brings that heat on himself, and he don't need to be in a tag team. Now, it was a good tag team match. Street Profits are freaking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Street Profits, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I see them putting a tag team title on them again.
They should. They should. Absolutely.
All I was going to say about that was you took the words right out of my mouth. The problem is Austin Theory has everything, just not the promos. Like, he doesn't really have the promo. A little bit it's there, but it's not quite there yet. So they had to take and like put this whole, like Brock and Paul Heyman. But Brock couldn't really talk, so we're going to give him a mouthpiece. And it's Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman would cut, he didn't give a crap. He'd come out and cut the promos and talk for him and stuff like that. He was his mouthpiece. So with Grayson, they put them together, and Waller, and that they work like that. But in the ring, and it's kind of sad to me because I saw him and I was like, this guy can do this. And I saw him in a match and I was like, oh, he's not bad, but he's not as good. If you really look at him, he's not as good as Austin Theory, like at all in the ring. I like him. He's better than me, but he's not as good. So Theory clearly is better. He can't talk as good as Grayson Waller. So that's I like that you said that, Rico. You took it right out of my mouth. That's why they're together, because they cover
balance
the other
each other out.
Yeah, they balance each other out. That's why. And the Street Profits are able to work with anybody.
Absolutely. That's why I was kind of disappointed. I've been saying a long time, and we have conversations all the time about it. The Street Profits are that good, and it's almost like they're used to put people over. Why not? They could have won that. This 6-pack tag match, they'd have been phenomenal in it.
Oh yeah.
Especially now that there's ladders in it. Dawson can fly. They both can fly.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, so I was kind of like, but then they inserted Karrion Kross and the AOP in, and then now I get where they're going with that, but these guys they deserve a title shot down the road sometime soon.
But did you see I'm trying to remember where I saw that, where it said they're talking about it. They may be changing their minds on 8-Town Down Under. Just because they won doesn't mean they're going to go.
Really? I didn't see that.
I can't remember where I saw that, but I was reading. I said, really? Man, so they might be changing something there. They better hurry up because you got a few days.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Street Profits would be those guys are they're great together, but they're really good apart too. So I feel like you only have this much like a small window of time to utilize them as a tag team because even the Usos, okay, I love the Usos, but I don't like the Usos as individual competitors. I don't see them like I do the Street Profits
right.
because you separate them, they are still good, like really good. And like I said, I'm not trying to say anything, but the Usos are no joke, but they're better together. I feel like the Street Profits, you only have so much time because they're going to be good singles competitors. You watch.
Now,
You
do
watch.
you
Like,
agree
they're
on this
good.
one? Right. I say with the Usos, when you're talking about how they're better together, but I think it's Jay's good by himself. I think it's Jimmy not knocking him, but I'm just saying he's not as good as Jay singles match in singles matches.
I would agree with that, Rico, because
Yeah.
if you watch
Yeah.
Jay and his demeanor, I guess is the word I'm looking for. He's confident. He's out there, doing it all. And Jimmy's all this stand backish, thuggish looking dude. And maybe that's his character.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he's horrible by himself, but he's not as good as his brother. I mean, he's made
he could work. Yeah, he could work a match. It's those two are like. I mean, I don't know. Like, did Marty Jannetty suck? No, Marty Jannetty could work a match, but did he stand out as much as Sean did? No. And they were good together. But when you separated them, one shot to the side, the other one just kind of stayed there. And maybe that's like Jay, because Jay is better. I got to give you that. By himself, he is. You can see it. You can see it. And he's more confident and everything than Jimmy is. And like I said, I hate to say anything bad about them because I love those guys. But
I mean, it's like Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Jeff went up and Matt kind of just stayed right here.
Exactly. Love Matt. But he's, you know what I mean? Just together, they were gold. They were awesome. But you could just see this guy, one's going to go a little further. And that's actually a better analogy, Rico, because they're brothers. So that's better than the one I gave about Sean and Marty because they weren't brothers and Marty hated Sean. But anyway,
Devon and Bubba. Yeah, Bubba Ray, in my opinion, was a much better wrestler in ring if he could go by himself.
And promo wise too.
And promo wise, Devon could hang. Sure. No, dude. Bubba Ray would smoke the Bully Ray. I'm sorry, Bully Ray much better than Devon.
Isn't that crazy though? Because when they back in the day, like ECW, and I would have never seen that guy turning into what he became when he would just stutter, and Devon would slap him in the back of the head. Like I never saw that guy becoming what he became, and he could. He could talk and he could work with anybody. He's better. And I love Devon, but.
Well, one more brother tag team, the Steiner brothers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Scott went through some changes, dude. Scott went through some changes. Like Rick was Rick throughout, like constantly throughout. Even as a singles competitor, he never changed, but Scott Steiner evolved. He changed. He became something
huge,
different, and that put him over the top. So,
But pretty deadly. The Street Profits match. You see where Corey Graves got taken out?
I think I missed that part.
Yeah, he got taken out. Go back and watch. He got taken out, and it made Wade Barrett was so happy, so amused. Those guys are money. I'm sorry. Their money and Raw announces their money. I mean, shoot.
We've said it before. You have to have good commentators. You just it helps because you can have like say a bad match, but the commentators can make it exciting. So where you're like, okay, they're making it good. Like Jerry and the King, or Jerry is
the King.
I know Jerry and JR. I meant to say.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
guys,
Those two together, you could have the most horrible match, and they would make it exciting.
yep. It's just you got to have that extra added flavor like that. You know, I think Corey Graves. Like I remember when oh, sorry, I won't laugh. Remember when Titus O'Neil tripped and slid under the ring?
yeah.
Dude, Corey Graves completely broke, like he completely broke character, and he just was dying. Like he was dying, laughing. He was like, "Hey, went out of the ring," and like he just completely went off script. And they were like, "We're just gonna roll with it." Like they have the headset on, and they're probably like, "Hey, you got to pull it together or whatever." He just he couldn't do it, man. Um, you get that though. You got to have like the yin and the yang. You got to have somebody who's like, talking sensible, and then the other person where JR's like, well, Kane, he burned the funeral home down, and he did all these horrible things, or I'm sorry, Undertaker set the fire, burned it down, and Kane is scarred because of that. And then you got the King who's like, yeah, that's why Undertaker won't punch him back, because he's like, give it to me. I deserve it. I scarred you for life. To say something horrible like that. And then JR's like, oh, how dare you say such an asinine thing? You got to have that, that chemistry. It works, man. Bobby Heenan had that, like Jesse Ventura. Oh, who was it forever? It was like Gorilla Monsoon, I think, and Heenan.
Mm-hmm.
Just constantly. And Jesse Ventura was with them for a while too. But like, I remember Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. It was like your yin and yang, It works.
Before I lose this thought, because you mentioned Undertaker and burning down a house and etc., so it brought to my head, there's a conversation going around the wrestling world regarding the way Cody Rhodes The Rock destroyed Cody Rhodes last week by throwing him into the bus, etc., beating him up. People are pissed because that's too much violence, is what they're saying. But those same people, no, seriously, this is a conversation that's on TikTok all over the place. Those same people are Attitude Era lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And my conversation, I guess, my question is, do we need the Attitude Era back? I think we do. And what Rock did to Cody Rhodes brought, to me, it just made this story much better. Was it violent? Yes. But I think it's been missing from what, I think Rock's bringing it back. Bringing some of the stuff back that has been missing, and I hope it doesn't stop with just The Rock and that bloodline stuff. I hope if he's in charge of anything, I hope it trickles down, and I hope we see more of that Attitude Era stuff, especially going into the Netflix channel in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Right. You're right, because he's not a PG era guy. He was already off doing movies by the time the critics and all the TV people were like on Vince McMahon's butt, and they're like, you need to get more PG, or we're gonna bump you, or we're gonna do this. And so they became more PG. Certainly on SmackDown, Raw they got a little leeway, and then they had to switch networks because they were, they were USA, and then they were on TNN, and then they switched from TNN back to USA because TNN was forcing them to get PG. So they went back to USA where they had a little more freedom. That stuff works, man. Because again, we've talked about this many times. If the fans don't believe it, and they don't buy it, then they're not going to buy it. Literally, they have to be invested in it, So yeah, I don't think it was violent, but who cares? Yeah, I mean, gosh, man, you think about when we were kids, dude. You watched Jake Roberts take, tie Macho Man Randy Savage up in the ropes and take his freaking snake out of the bag and have it bite him. Yep. Dude, I had nightmares about that for weeks. Yep. Like, oh my gosh, it's biting him for real. Like I was scarred, but it worked, dude. Like you need that stuff.
Mick Foley getting body slammed on thumbtacks, barbed wire bats, like stuff like that. It's
War of the Room matches with him and Kane. That's just Mankind and Kane. I mean, that's. Oh yeah. No, it was just these people. They love Attitude Era, but they thought that was too much.
How was that too much? He just put a beat down, kind of proving a point.
It
I'm going
depends.
to lay you out.
It depends because some people, there were different things that happened in the Attitude Era that people didn't care for. Look at the women's division. And I'm sure there are a lot of women who didn't care for what the ladies division was like in the Attitude Era, because before you had pioneers who really pushed the boundaries, and like Trish and Lita, to where they actually were like, okay, well, we got to take these ladies serious. They were like sex objects. They were just up there, like Vince was like, you're going to have a lingerie match, or you're going to have, a mud wrestling matches.
Yeah,
That a lot of that stuff happened in the Attitude Era, and it was like, you know what I mean? It didn't do any, certainly for the female competitors that wanted to be like taken seriously. So those were things about the Attitude Era that were bad. But again, you had to have those ones who pushed through that, because Trish had to go through her crap. She had to be used as like just that sex symbol, just the pretty face, and to come out and all that stuff, and then started out to not be taken seriously at all, to bust in her butt and like, wow, she is really good. She's come a long ways, and to do what she did. And that's why I say she was a pioneer. Lita was a pioneer because Lita was just a manager. She was just like, she was a nobody. She was just, oh, she's cute. She's this, she's that. Like, no, she's a serious competitor. They fought for that. And then you had the Bellas who were like there, and then they came in and whatever. About them in the ring is a different story. But, there were some things about the Attitude Era that were like, but as far as like what was happening, the stories and how far they went, some of that stuff though, Mick Foley didn't have permission.
No,
he didn't have permission. But the problem, and like I remember Jim Cornette was talking about this. The problem was that everybody liked him so much, you didn't want to be mad at him. So it was like, you want to be like, why did you do that? And most of the time, he didn't put anybody else at risk but himself. So he wasn't like, hey, I want you to go through this table that's on fire. Oh, by the way, there's going to be spikes underneath it or something like that. He'd be like, hey, will you knock me through that? Right. And they're like, okay, Mick. And again, he's like, it'll be great. It'll be great. And they didn't want to, but they're like, oh gosh, I'll do it because I like him. So it's like, some of that stuff he didn't have permission for, dude, but he just, attitude.
What I was going to say, when you're talking about Trish and Lita, like Trish showed like, hey, women can wrestle. Let us wrestle. We can do this really good. Lita showed that edgier side, like, hey, I could do the flips and everything too. You got a woman doing moonsaults off the top rope. Just looking phenomenal.
Yep.
Back in the day, Lita was my girl, man. She was fun to watch, and
she's you could see it too when she was even when she was managing the Hardys. And I don't remember who it was, but they were on the ladder, and she jumped off the rope, like outside the ring, and she hurricanranaed somebody, and she landed on the floor, like after throwing this dude off through a table. I was like, that chick is a machine. Yep. She's a machine, dude. She was different kind of crazy. 100%. Oh yeah, man. The Attitude Era was dope for stuff like that.
Yeah. When you're talking about the people complaining about it, I remember seeing something. I just found it because they're talking about, like AEW uses blood a lot. And so they're talking about here going forward, it's going to be used very rarely, but they're going to use it. It's not like it was before where there's no blood. They're going to have it once in a while, but not as much as AEW does.
Oh, they would hide that crap. Remember Finn Balor got busted open in his match with Edge?
Yep.
And that for the while, like nothing was happening. It's because he was getting stitched up. They literally stitched him up and cleaned him up during the match so that blood wasn't shown on that pay-per-view. Can you believe that? So Finn had to lay there and get stitched up really quick while Edge was like, I don't know, selling to the crowd or doing whatever. Like, that's how anti-blood they were. Or are. They still are. I don't know if they're actually going to do that.
They don't. Yeah, I don't know. That was the Cody Rhodes Rock thing was the most blood I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and again, it comes back to who's in charge. I think the Rock needs that Attitude Era back, or wants that back.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, people love him or hate him. I don't, know, whatever. but since he's been back, he's made a difference. It's been crazy. It's been more crazier, wild stuff, but it all depends on what kind of stuff you like. I don't know.
Yeah, Hunter was an Attitude Era guy too.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys that came up in the Attitude Era, and he they were there. They get it. they know what worked. They pushed the envelope. Both of them did. So, yeah.
But real quick, sorry, not to interrupt. When you're talking about how The Rock, cutting that promo, beating Cody down, to listen to him talk and stuff, and they're just letting him say whatever he wanted to say. I said, that sounds like a certain somebody might just want to come over here so he can say whatever he wants to say. Mr. MJF.
I'm telling you guys, I think we are in for one hell of a shocker.
I'm the one who doesn't see that. I would be shocked because I don't see that happening.
Really?
I don't see that happening. I don't know. He can do it without all the colorful language that he's allowed to use in AEW because he can work. He can work and he can cut killer promos, and his character is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So he can do it. I don't think that they will get him. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he'll be with the WWE.
I agree. I would agree with you, Nikki D. And like a month ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have said, yeah, you're probably right.
Did you hear something?
No, but I'm just seeing Rock has brought something to the WWE. If he's in charge with TKO, like everybody says he is,
yeah,
you're gonna see something different, and maybe it's gonna open up that alleyway or that path for MJF to come right in and fit right in. I will say this: I mean, I've seen
pictures
of AEW crowds. Okay, just for example,
yeah.
if I'm MJF, I don't want to be there. I'm gonna next time I see this picture, I'm gonna capture them and send you guys. There are hardly anybody in those arenas on AEW. Hardly anybody.
Wow.
There's a lot of blacked out areas, but people scan over, there's people maybe 17, 20 rows deep, and that's it.
Yeah, they make it look full with the camera angles.
Oh, wow.
And if I'm MJF, as good as he is, which he is good, I can't stand the man. That's why he's so good. Is because you know what I'm saying? If he's, I can't stand him, so he's doing his job.
Yep.
And dang it, if I was him, I wouldn't be that would be easy decision. I'd be saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to go where I can get seen, I can be noticed. Wow. I mean, I have a feeling that's why you're going to see Moxley not be around AEW much longer. He's in New Japan right now doing what he's doing, and I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a optimistic storyteller, but I want to see Moxley, Seth, and Roman Reigns reunite as part of the Bloodline storyline.
Wow!
I would love to see that.
Wow! As part of the Bloodline. So you think that even Seth, like he is now, with all the heat that he has with Roman and all of that, and the egos would actually come together and join? That would be a shocker.
I think we're getting worked big time.
Really?
Yes. I think
that would be a shocker.
I think we're going to see a different Seth Rollins at WrestleMania Night 2.
Really?
Ooh, I hope you're right, because I would fall off of my couch. I would literally fall off my couch because I would be shocked. I would be shocked, but it would be awesome because those two, like, they're at that point in their career where they've done all these things, and then to come back together, dude.
That's
why not?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Why not, right?
It works. Like, look, DX, when it was in its infancy, you had Hunter, you had Shawn, you had Chyna. And then they brought in Rick Rude for a while. And then when Shawn got injured and he left after WrestleMania 14, then they built it a little bit. You got the 1, 2, 3 Kid. And then you got the New Age Outlaws. And they kind of did their thing, and then eventually Sean came back, and they had all that stuff, and then Hunter was where he wasn't there when Sean was still there.
Right.
He was still kind of like a mid-card guy.
Right.
He became the game, and then Sean came back, and Sean was Sean. And then they, at those points in their career, they formed DX again, and it was freaking gold. Like, just must-watch TV. It was gold. So that's why I hope you're right. That's why I hope you're right, because at those points where they're at right now, and if they put that aside, like, you got to take and put your ego aside, because you got to be willing to share that spotlight with somebody else.
Yes.
And if they're like Hunter and Sean were able to do that, at their, even though they both were still big at that time, come together and make magic, dude. I would love if you were right. I would love it.
I'm probably wrong, but I mean, like, again, it's fantasy booking. I know Seth is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I would see happen would be Roman Reigns loses his belt, say at WrestleMania. He's going to be gone for a while, a couple months. Moxley's already kind of separating himself, doing his other things away from AEW.
Yeah.
Seth is going to lose his title at WrestleMania, and I think he's hurt enough where he's going to take a break.
Yep.
I would love, maybe, and again, it's fantasy booking. That's nothing more. To SummerSlam, make the appearance like the Damage Control did. Walking down that aisle, badass. Here we go. Here's the
wow.
Or hear that radio.
They come out of the crowd like they used to.
Yeah.
Dude, people would lose their minds.
Yep.
But
they would lose their minds.
Did you guys happen to I haven't started watching, I just caught a glimpse of it. Roman Reigns on his biography on A&E.
I heard about this.
Yeah, where he said, this is what the tribal chief said, you guys better cherish these moments, because once I lose the WWE Undisputed Championship, I'm calling it quits.
Really?
I don't know if that's just for throwing that out there, mess with people, or
calling it quits. Well, I mean, you wonder how long you can keep doing it. Right. How long your body can take it. And like I had to watch what I said. I was watching the last pay-per-view with my wife, and I was like, physically he looked different than he did before. And I was like, but I can say that I haven't had to fight leukemia twice. Right. That crap, I'm sure, takes a toll on you. So maybe he's telling the truth, but I would love if they would just do one more ride. That would be something, because that's less work.
Right. It doesn't have to be a long ride. Dude, give me 6 months.
It wouldn't have to be.
Give me 6 months.
Yep. And I think DX did that, and it was beautiful how they did it. It was magic. And then there was that Shawn was getting pushed with that feud with Cena. And he and Triple H were the tag champs, and he cost them the belts because he was so obsessed with Cena. And Hunter was like, dude, whatever, do your thing. And Shawn had his main event WrestleMania match with Cena. It was very good, obviously, and he lost. And then the DX thing, I think it was over. I don't know if they still were DX after that. Maybe here and there they were. Like, just now, they would still pop up sometimes as DX. But as far as like the every week thing, I think that's what it ended. And it was cool because you didn't get to see it end like that. There was no, when Shawn got hurt, he just was gone. Right. So, yeah, you did. I'm glad you said that huge pop too, because you just made me realize something. Batista abruptly left. Okay. He wasn't supposed to leave. He abruptly left. And that's when they had to put these plans in motion. And Seth turned on the Shield like completely out of nowhere. Like they just beat what did they call themselves back then?
Evolution.
Were they Evolution still?
Yeah, they beat Evolution.
Okay. Yep. So they beat Evolution, and then all of a sudden he turns on him. It made, to me, I was like, that makes no sense. But it's because they had to. That was like Plan B. because Batista was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know,
Mhm.
he didn't like the way that the fans or whatever the wrestling was going at that point in time. So he left early. Dude, so really that wasn't supposed to happen the way that it did. So I really do hope you're right and they can kind of finish it the way that they wanted.
I don't want to burst your bubble, Nick D, but I'm probably wrong. But again, it's a fantasy booking thing, so I can see. I don't know. But I say that because go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know a score update.
Huh.
Iowa won.
Good.
95-87.
Good.
Sorry, carry on.
The next segment was, in my opinion, not the match itself, but the build was one of my favorites of this last of SmackDown. And it included Santos Escobar and the Legends del Fantasma walk to their LDF. They tried to recruit Dom Dom. And the whole thing was coming full circle. I don't want to see it again because we already seen it once. But they called out Rey Mysterio, and and Rey's like, "Okay, I'm done. I want to challenge you to a match at WrestleMania." I don't know if did you guys see that part?
Yep.
And Dom goes, "Well," and Santos Escobar is like, "Who's your partner?" And I thought for sure he was gonna say Carlito.
I did too. Everybody was chanting it.
Yes. And I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden he says, Dragon, was the Dragon
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee is going to be Rey Mysterio's partner at WrestleMania to go against Dom Dom and Santos Escobar.
Oh, I missed that.
That's going to be fire.
Did you happen to catch Judgment Day's reaction to that?
Yes, but before that, did you see Carlito's expression? Like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this. That'd be an obvious thing to happen after WrestleMania. I have a feeling Carlito's going to turn on Rey and Dragon Lee, but it is what it is. But that segment was solid, and then after that, Judgment Day is pissed at Dom Dom.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Why didn't you let us know?" And Dom Dom has nothing to say. So
I just wanted to,
hard-headed kid, dude.
So
he's that hard-headed kid of the group.
So there's cracks, cracks in the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's gonna be cracks in the LWO. Because I'm sorry, I think Carlito's expression was like, "Okay, I get you, I see you."
Yeah.
Did you guys hear anything about the two possibilities coming from AEW?
No.
Buddy Matthews, Aleister Black.
Yes, I did see that,
but
I don't know because AEW had Christian Cage not Christian Cage, but Edge is a champion over the TNT champion, and House of Black appeared in the ring. Now Aleister Black's part of House of Black, right?
He's the leader.
He was in the ring, and I thought he challenged Edge for that title, but I don't know. But I heard their contracts are running out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a good talent, man. He was such a good talent. On the main roster, I felt they never utilized him. Aleister Black was dope. He was so good. He was the one guy that beat Adam Cole, and I was freaking furious if anybody ever beat Adam Cole in NXT. I would lose it. He beat Adam Cole in a match, and I was like, that was a good match. Like, that dude, he was stupid good. I'd love to see him back.
That's one guy I would just dream would come back. Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, man. Triple H protected him from the main roster. He's like, if Vince gets a hold of you, who knows what's going to happen? And then he left. Like, just... Yeah, I'd love to see him come back. I miss him.
That'd be cool.
Really bad. Cool. I love him.
I think, seriously, looking at the crowds, I think Tony Khan's vision is about done. And you're going to see a lot of flooding of talent over to WWE, and then I don't know what we're going to do because there's a lot. And maybe a lot of those guys over at AEW don't give two craps about WWE because there's always New Japan, there's ROH, there's Impact.
Mhm.
You're going to see all these other secondary, I guess, TV shows, NWA. They're going to get talent, and I think that's what's going to. But see, the difference between Tony Khan and his little drawing on the hat matches, and the other guys from TNA, Impact, New Japan, they actually got people that know what the hell they're talking about, you know, and that might be dangerous for WWE going down in the future, but I don't know.
Yeah, competition, it's going to bring out the best in the companies.
We have about 15 more minutes, and I want to get to that huge segment of the show. I don't need 1 minute to talk about that. So, no.
What do you guys think it would be profitable for WWE to add a fourth brand? That way you can have more people. Monday Night Raw, NXT Tuesday night, Friday night SmackDown, and something on Thursday or Wednesday.
No, because and that's an easy answer for me because they've done this stuff before. You had certain competitors that would only wrestle on like, what was it called? Sunday Night Heat or Shotgun Saturday Night. And those just fizzle out. NXT has survived because NXT is a different animal altogether. And that's why it's survived. And it was legit competition for like a company like AEW where it could go head to head on the same night for a while anyway. And then Raw and SmackDown are staples. Raw is obviously the OG. I think if they did a fourth one, it wouldn't. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you. That's why I was curious in your guys' opinion on that.
I think that, I agree with you guys, with Nikki D. They might, but I don't want to see them do that. I don't want to see them add an hour to SmackDown. I just think 2 hours is enough.
Yeah, you should cut Raw back.
I personally think so too.
And Hunter even said that himself. He even said he hated coming up with content for a 3-hour program. He misses the times when it was 2 hours because it was action-packed 2 hours, and you could just squeeze everything in that you wanted to squeeze in. Now you're having to have like 20-minute promos or whatever just to eat up that 3-hour time slot.
Well, I was just telling Rico before we came on the show. Okay, I turned on Raw at 7:00. I came back here at 7:40, and they were just finishing the Bloodline with Rock, and then Rock spoke for 15-20 minutes. The Bloodline came down, Seth came out, and that lasted 45 minutes. And it's just enough. There's time when enough's enough.
Yep.
45 minutes is gonna get old real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that beatdown on SmackDown, it took 20 minutes to get Cody Rhodes got a 20-minute ass whooping. You know, it was. Is that too much? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're right. Some of that stuff, I think it would benefit them to really shrink that down. And I'm surprised when he got so much pull in the company that he didn't go, okay, we're going back to 2 hours.
I think when Netflix takes over, though, I mean, we might see 4 nights.
4 nights, huh?
You might. Something. I don't know.
I was just saying, if you're talking about AEW possibly fizzling out, possibly. They pick up more talent. You can't fit all that talent.
Right. You'd almost have to. I see what you're saying. You almost have to have somewhere for these guys to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think a lot of these guys that we're talking about, unfortunately, we're going to miss a bunch of talent, like Adam Cole, Edge, Ricky Starks.
I love Ricky Starks.
So do I. They're going to end up in like a TNA, which is not bad because I'm sorry, Impact is a good show.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden it is.
So, but we don't want to miss out on this last segment. But before we get to the segment, prequel to the segment was AJ Styles and LA Knight. That promo segment was pretty solid. and we had LA Knight being part of and it was funny because AJ Styles goes, "What are you? What is he dressed up as a WWE staff?" And sure as shit he was. So that segment led into the huge announcement. We'll give Rico 10 minutes to get his drool out of his mouth, pick up the floor. Because
oh my goodness.
Because
talent recognizes talent.
No.
He's talent. Now, I will say this, and I won't get myself in trouble because my wife's in my room. She is jacked. Let's put it that way. And the outfit she wore on Friday night was
risque.
Risque, yes.
Yes,
but
a little risque.
It showed her how defined she was. And if we don't know, anybody knows who we're talking about. We're talking about who? Who, Rico? Who we're talking about?
Jade Cargill.
Yes. Nikki D. I texted him. No, I called him. I said, what are you doing? He goes, just chilling with Lena. What's up? I said, she's here. She finally made an in-ring appearance. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, Jade Cargill, your girl's here. So.
I can't believe you weren't watching that as it happened. I can't believe you weren't watching that as it happened.
Well, because like I said, I record it and I always watch it the next day.
Oh, that's right, because you don't want to watch it with Lena sitting next to you.
Right.
She'd probably slap you. She'd slap the drool out of your mouth.
Changing the channel. Lena goes, Lena will tell you, she says, she is beautiful.
Where's Lena at? No.
Get her up here.
And I'm going to back you up, Rico. I am. She was solid in the ring. She had some great moves.
Did you see that boot right off the bat?
Yeah. I mean, that team that they formed, her,
Bianca and Naomi.
Naomi, and who was it?
The EST.
Yeah.
EST of the WWE.
Boy, if I'm any women's trio team, I'd be running. I'd be going for the hills because them are some powerful women.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yep, it's good.
All three of them on their own can do damage solo. You put them together, damage control. And see, that's why I was wondering, like, after this WrestleMania, are they going to do something with either Naomi and Bianca or one of those three girls teaming up to try to go for the belts?
Do they lose? They're challenging Kaya, Asuka, and Sane. Do they lose at WrestleMania and Carl will get pissed and turn on one of those girls?
I could possibly see that to build up a Bianca and Jade Cargill match. I can. I really can. Or a Jade and Naomi match.
Yeah. That'd be solid.
I see that too.
But the end game is I want to see her and Mommy in a main event.
I'm saying it.
She's
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it.
Well, what do you want me to say? I mean, she came in and did a couple offensive moves. And it's like, yeah, she looks good because she just got all of her offense in. So she's all right. Here's my thing. No, she's okay. But when I look at her, this is what I see. When I see Jade Cargill, I see just a smaller version, a little bit of Bianca Belair, similar, okay, to like the EST. We have her. Think of young Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, okay? They were so similar. It was impossible not to look at her and go, gosh, this girl reminds me of Charlotte. So what did Rhea do? She recreated herself. She got her own thing. Now, I'm not saying it's like exactly alike, but you want to see this fight and stuff like that. Maybe what Huge Pop said happens. They lose and Cargill flips out and turns on her. And then she kind of, because she still kind of reminds me a little, not so much because she has her own thing, but you've got the powerhouse. Like you're looking for a powerhouse and stuff. That's Bianca Belair. Like the moves, all that stuff is like her. So you got to have something that makes you different.
But what if? Because we've been hearing talks about this for a while. What if the EST is the one who turns heel?
I can see that.
She'd be great heel.
Yes, because there's been rumors like she's not at the bottom whatsoever, but she's kind of in the middle, just stalemate, not really going up. So you turn her heel.
She'd be a great heel. And it typically, historically, the heels get more of the offense, and that would be good because if they work together, that means that Bianca could carry the match because she'll have to carry Jade. That's why they introduced her in a match like this, Rico, so that way she'll be okay. She'll be safe.
So I got a question for you guys then. Talking about the women's. I have my opinion. If I'm going to name 4 ladies, 3 of them we already talked about. Well, 4 of them. I'm going to name Mommy, Cargill, Bianca, and what's the last one? Naomi, right? Naomi. Who would win that? I would not. I personally am not a fan of Mommy's in-ring work. I think Naomi, Bianca have better moves, better in-ring skills, better in-ring stuff. Maybe I'm sick of the Judgment Day and Mommy having the belt. I just don't think she's a powerhouse. She gets, kicks, whatever. She's massive. But as far as in-ring skills, I would go Bianca Belair and Naomi all day. And I think I put Cargill and Mommy on the same level because they're bigger women, but their in-ring stuff is not as good as Naomi's and Belair, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you on that one. Because like you said, she's a bigger girl. But, watching her matches in AEW, I felt like she did more offense than what Mommy does.
Yes.
Yeah, she definitely does.
Absolutely.
But Bianca and Naomi definitely. Just, nobody wants to hear it from you. Okay, nobody wants to hear from the peanut gallery.
Just saying, Rhea can do a lot in the ring, and she showed that in NXT. And her style changed on the main roster. I would take her. And if there was anybody close, it would be Bianca. And I would love those. Like, I don't know. They're there. You know what I mean? They're there. I love both of them. They just stand out for different reasons. Their moves, like they just have their own unique styles. When I look at them, I see champs. I do.
Right.
They've got it. They absolutely have got it. And that's nothing against anybody else. Like nothing against any of the other ladies that you mentioned. Like Naomi's had it forever. She's amazing. And I like Jade Cargill. I give you crap, Rico, but I like her. She's really, really good. And she has that hype, but it's just like she's got the look and she's got like the hype when she comes to the ring, but like so did the Ultimate Warrior, right? But when you get there, what do you do with it? And it's like,
wow.
That's all I'm saying is like I think she can do it, but I don't think she's at that level right now where she's going to go challenge a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, which is why they did what they did.
No, and I get that.
Yeah,
and that's why I think Triple H is really looking at her like we're going to build her up. We're going to make her better. I mean, she's already good, but we're going to make her a lot better.
I'd rather see her than Charlotte Flair, anyways. So.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. A lot of people would agree with you because she's new, she's fresh, and she's young. She's young. She's only going to get better.
I would almost say this: she is the modern day Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
It could be, but you guys really think she's bigger than Bianca?
Oh yeah,
she's not bigger than Bianca. Bianca's a beast. If you go back,
okay, all right.
go back to the Royal Rumble. Go back to the Royal Rumble and look at them when they were standing in the ring face to face. Bianca is a beast.
She is. I mean, yeah.
Bianca
I'm
is a beast.
telling
There's
you.
no doubt about
She
it.
is. I mean,
She's bigger. She's bigger.
There's pictures.
She's the biggest.
She has a six-pack.
She's the strongest.
But
whatever else she says.
But here's the thing: if you've noticed, you ever watch when Bianca ever went against Nia, she actually she could lift her up, but she had a little bit of struggle with it. Not putting on a show with it, you could tell she actually had a little struggle. Where Jade was just like tossed her and said, "Get off me."
And that was impressive.
Yeah,
she's strong. Like there's no two ways about it. She's strong. She's strong. I just think Bianca's bigger.
Well, boys, any parting words, Rico?
I really can't wait for WrestleMania. I'm eager. I mean, we have Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about tomorrow. Nikki D, hope you're on.
Watch it.
Yeah, I got to watch it tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. And I'm really eager for WrestleMania. Can't wait. I'm tired of all the talk, and I just want the matches to happen.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You have anything?
No, I praise the Lord that the battery made it. I'm at 2% right now.
All right.
Nice.
So, tomorrow night we're going to talk about Raw. We'll have a special guest on from I don't know if you remember him, Nikki D, Sin from the Syndicate, an independent wrestling promotion up in Illinois area. He'll be on here. He has a special announcement. We're going to give him a little bit of time tribute for him. I won't say what he's going to do, but obviously we know what he's going to do if you put the dots together. And then WrestleMania is this weekend. I don't know what's on the schedule for. I think there's a guest, maybe. No, there's nothing. So I'll be gearing up for WrestleMania. I'll be watching night one and night two. I'll be texting you guys in that group chat.
Yep.
But thank you guys again for coming aboard and being part of the Huge Pop team. I appreciate you guys. Anybody watching this or watching it later on, please go to the YouTube channel, click and subscribe to that channel.
Definitely. Click subscribe.
Yep. Stay in the green room. I have a proposal that I want to run by you guys real quick. Something I really want to do. So, but Huge Pop Wrestling fans, until tomorrow, we're out.
Good night.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with the devil, because when he's dealing with you, you cannot get on this level. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with a king. It's like a fight with an army. They got the tanks and everything. He's leaving bruises and stitches, possibly leaving you crippled. Cause when he sets up the table and sends you straight through the middle. Take sadistic free, beat that ass with a light bulb. Leave a piece of glass embedded in the back of your skull. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who